class. I hope you are all doing well. Our topic for today is quite long, so you need to keep up. Ready? Let's go. But before going to our lesson proper, I'd like you to take a close look at this picture and guess what it is. Were you still not able to get it? Okay, then let's add another one. I guess you were able to guess it by now. However, if you still fail to guess, don't worry, as this picture are the focus of our topic for today, which is all about use appropriate speech conventions for speech choir presentation. As a student, the ability to communicate effectively, especially during oral presentations, can boost your confidence in speaking as well as in reasoning. Oral presentations have become a useful and effective way to increase students' awareness of communication skills. Students like you need a lot of opportunity to practice language in situations, which encourage you to communicate your needs, ideas, and opinions. Thus, oral presentations become an important element in delivering positive learning experiences and help them become successful communicators. What is speech choir? Speech choir is an innovative choral art form. It is a group performance that recites speeches in unison, often which elements of choreography and costuming to help bring the speech to life. It is called it is also called choral speaking. The first place put on by Greeks features choruses of speakers. Today, speech choir is popular teaching as well as performing art. It operates like a musical choir minus the music. Instead of singing, speech choirs perform spoken words pieces like poems. To be able to be successful in presenting speech choir, one must be aware on how to use appropriate speech conventions effectively. What are speech conventions? Speech conventions are agreed system of rules in communication. These are practices that become habitual and accepted among communicators. For instance, it is conventional in many communication situations that correct intonation and pronunciation during speaking are necessary to achieve meaningful understanding of the audience. What are types of speech choir? There are two types of speech choir. First, traditional or conventional speech choir, wherein the speakers simply recite the spoken words without the use of costumes, choreography, or props. Their choir just simply speaks or read a literary piece. Then, the second, dynamic or theatrical speech choir, which makes use of props, costumes, and sometimes choreography. Moreover, it is the reverse of the conventional speech choir. Here are other types of speech choir. Refrain. One of the most common forms of choral speaking, one person reads the narrative portion of the text while the rest of the class joins in the refrain. Unison calls for the whole group to read the material together. Additional sound effects might be incorporated. Antipyon calls for the class to be divided into two or more groups, with each group being responsible for a certain part of the selection. Cumulative choral reading or speaking refers to a method where groups of voices or individual voices are added to or subtracted. From then, choral reading depending on the message or the meaning communicated by the selection. Solo lines. It is a type of choral reading where individuals read specific lines in appropriate places throughout a group activity. Presenting a speech choir is like baking a cake. When you bake a cake, you need ingredients, baking utensils, baking equipment like oven and procedures. Without these requirements, you cannot bake a cake. Just like presenting a speech choir. The elements are very important to be effective and achieve the causes in your performance. What are the elements of speech choir? Voice quality. It is the ability to combine successful the light, medium, and dark voices in the choir. It is also the ability to communicate through voice reactions to thought or emotions. Okay, number of voices. It is the ability to add or subtract whole sections, banks, smaller groups, or solo speakers to increase or diminish the power of richness of the sound to better express the meaning. Members, like choir, these are the participants who will perform the piece. They can be 20 or more and are divided based on their natural or speaking voices. Piece. This is a written composition that our members are going to perform. They are usually poems or poetic passage. These are broken into parts by the conductor. Bodily movement. It is the ability to use gesture, choreography, or other movement to enhance communication and better express meaning. Pitch perfect refers to the variations of the voice on the musical scale and is generally referred to as inflection. Power is the ability to use volume, force, or loudness as emphasis in appropriate places to better express feeling and meaning. A power build should be related to the elements of the sentence and or growing emotion. Phrasing and rhythm. It is the ability to use phrasing and rhythm as reinforcements for each other. Each must blend together to better express the meaning of the verse. Tempo refers to the rate of speed at which a reading progress. It is the ability to balance the rhythm of a piece and the tempo of performance. Tempo should relate to the central beat of the poem to fast to slow. Staging. It is the ability to successfully organize and position the choir on stage or risers from maximum performance effect. It is the ability to the stage entrances and exits which enhance the mood of the poem and performance. Moreover, it is the ability to ability to costume speaker in a way which also enhances the performance as a whole. Now, let's proceed to costuming. As with any other performance art, true should be put into how the speech choir will dress. Costumes can be a simple matching outfits or robes. Plain uniforms allow the audience to concentrate on facial expressions and allow the choir to recite several very different pieces in one performance. Theme costume for a single piece can highlight its meaning or help to differentiate between voice groups. Okay, to be able to present a good speech choir, keep in mind the following speech conventions. Conventions for speech choir presentation. Good pronunciation is very important. If you're unsure of the pronunciation of the words from your piece, refer them to a dictionary. Simply use a dictionary that has a pronunciation guide to it or listen to the video online which teach pronunciation. Second, things such as rising intonation and falling intonation are crucial in speech choir. Which word to be stressed depend also on your intended meaning. So better improve your stress and intonation. Third, a good number for speech choir is 40 members, but you can have 20 or 25 participants if so desired. The fourth, the contest piece is often a poem. Fifth, participants must be divided into 3 voices. We have the light, medium, and dark. Light voices are often chosen from the first year females. Medium are also females with deep voices. Dark are of course only males with very deep voices. There should also be a solo for each voice. Solo light, solo medium, and solo dark. 6. Arrange the contest piece before giving it to participants. This means that there are already assigned parts for each voice. For the solo and for the unison, meaning all 3 voices. Keep in mind too that even if all 3 voices speak together, but their voices should be clearly distinct from each other. This is called blending. 7. Memorize the piece. If you are the conductor, the more you should memorize it. Before giving the contest piece to your participant, see to it that you have double-checked its pronunciation in the dictionary or the web. 8. Drill into your participants to feel the piece. Their facial expression should reflect what they are speaking. Facial expressions can be taught. It should come from within. It should not look artificial, but should come from their hearts. 9. Deliver with the intent to be understood, hence for conventional speech choir. Actions and props are unnecessary. Simply standing with hands in their sides is enough. What counts are the voice and the facial expressions. 10. Speech choir participants should only look. I'll repeat. Speech choir participants should only look at the conductor the whole time of their presentation. They should not fidget or more unnecessary moves throughout their delivery. Nevertheless, they should not be standing tense in front of the crowd but relaxed. Here are the things you should not forget when doing speech choir. Breathing, the most important part of any performing art, from playing an instrument to acting in a play, is breathe. While we breathe involuntarily, all the time many green performers forgot to breathe while on stage. Mark your speech choir piece like a sheet of music, noting where it is makes sense to make a breath so you don't interrupt the word flow, but have enough breath to make it through the line. Breathing in performance links you with your whole group, calms your nerves, and gives your performance life. Articulation and diction. The audience want to hear what you have to say. If you don't articulate, all they will hear is a bunch of mush. By participating in your articulation and diction, your words will be clear and vibrant. Say every sound of a word, paying special attention to the beginning and ending letters. Strive to make every word lucid and colorful. Diction is a learned skill. Articulate strongly in rehearsal and your everyday life. People will notice how will you command language. Connection to the group. A speech choir is a living organism made up on individuals. Never forget that you aren't performing a monologue, you are a part of a group performance. On stage, the choir is in your family. The best speech choir performances are presented by groups that are in sync with each other. Listen to those around you. Connecting with them will eliminate any stage fright. If anything unexpected happens, someone forgets a line, light fall from the rafters, the group must respond and correct together. The text is your guide. It's what the audience come to see and hear you perform. In rehearsal, commit your lines to memory even if you are provided with a piece on stage. Performing the text requires you to know the text inside out. Once you know what you are saying, add color and meaning to the words. Let the audience see what you are saying. Let your personal reaction to the word Sprinkle meaning on the performance. So that's the text. So any questions? So if none, so that's it for today. I hope you learned something new. See you next week. God bless.